I think what people don't understand is that these skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, and acne, they're not just skin conditions. They're actually markers of autoimmune conditions. And autoimmune sits inside the gut. 70% of your immune system is sitting inside your gut. So if you get damage to that gut microbiome, which is called dysbiosis, you are going to have a symptom that's going to include something on your skin. It can be eczema, psoriasis, acne, or eczema, but somewhere it's going to show up on your skin because there's a very strong connection between your skin and your gut.
Mm-hmm. And if people don't see it in their skin, they might see it in other areas like mental fatigue or brain fog or muscle pain, joint pain like arthritis, or IBS or Crohn's, which is too much inflammation in the digestive system. So yeah, a leaky gut and just too much inflammation in the gut causes so many medical problems.
Mm-hmm. The way we talk about it, so I have a team now of nutritional advisors who are working with people, and right now we're coaching one of the Victoria's Secret angels, as it happens. So even when people look really great, sometimes, you know, they do have skin issues. What we say is that inside your gut, it's almost like, imagine that there's symptomatic leaves, and they are coming out in different ways all over your body. So in your brain, it can be anxiety and depression, over your system, fatigue, in your joints, as you said, joint pain, skin symptoms, tummy issues. But those are all leaves of a single tree, and the trunk of the tree sits in your gut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was talking to Dr. Walls, who created the Walls protocol, and she said pretty much every single autoimmune condition can be attributed to a leaky gut, where your intestinal lining has small holes and the food particles are leaking into your bloodstream, causing so much inflammation inside the body.
Mm-hmm. I say that there are 4 what I call horsemen of the gut apocalypse. And those are the sugar, the chemicals, the antibiotics, and stress. And those are the things that cause inflammation inside the gut. It's amazing how many things resolve when you actually bring the inflammation levels down in the gut and heal the lining of the gut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of my clients notice their symptoms when a stressful event happens. And that's because stress causes too much cortisol to build up inside the body, causing chronic inflammation. And then your sympathetic nervous system doesn't know when to turn it off because it's just on overdrive. So we have to manage stress as well in order to heal the skin.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see a lot of people presenting with autoimmune disorders. And of course, autoimmune has 3 components. Number 1, there is always going to be some kind of gut condition because, of course, it sits inside the gut. Number 2, you're going to have some kind of genetic predisposition. So people who are showing up with autoimmune disorders, quite often, you know, when we take their family history, somebody in their family will have eczema, psoriasis, IBS, arthritis, diabetes, obesity, Crohn's, colitis, atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque inside the heart valve. So there is some kind of genetic predisposition in the family somewhere. And then item number 3 is a trigger event. So a trigger event can be a virus, an illness, a course of antibiotics. It can be a hormonal event like pregnancy, puberty, or menopause. It can be a period of stress. It can be bereavement. Any of those things can trigger that underlying genetic predisposition, and it starts rolling inside the system and becomes symptomatic. So at that point, you know, suddenly people will say, oh, I was in university and suddenly I started getting acne, or, you know, I had a bereavement and suddenly I had rosacea. It's that predisposition was sitting inside the system and it became triggered by that period of stress. Over time, then you will have more and more triggers because, of course, who of us can avoid, you know, periods of stress and so on. And your autoimmune condition will become increasingly symptomatic. So maybe now you have IBS, you know, and you've got allergies, and you've got acne, and you've got depression, and you've got fatigue, you know, so you're just going to pick up more and more symptoms over time. And we call that the vicious spiral, you know, as you're becoming increasingly symptomatic. So the protocol that we're following here is, it's called a symbiotic protocol, which is both probiotics and prebiotics. So we're using a goat's milk kefir for the probiotic, and then a complex prebiotic, which puts the good bugs back inside your gut, The prebiotics feed those good bugs, and we reverse that vicious spiral and wind those symptoms back down. The bad news is it takes a long time. Its natural healing is slow. The good news is that all those symptoms sort of resolve at once. So people, you not only will your skin get better, but your mood, your hair, your tummy, all of these things sort of resolve at the same time. So it's slow, but it's all beneficial and non-chemical.